What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. Manchester United are back in action again in the Premier League. Matchday 21 up against Burnley at Turf Moor. 8:15 p.m. kickoff tomorrow. Manager of Burnley is Scott Parker. So this is going to be Darren Fletcher's first game in charge of Manchester United as an interim manager. But yeah, in terms of Man United's record against Burnley earlier on in the season, Man United did win 3-2 at Old Trafford, courtesy of a 97th minute Bruno Fernandes penalty. In terms of some insights and match facts, Burnley won their first ever Premier League home game against United 1-0 in August 2009. However, they're winless in 8 matches against them since then, drawing 2 and losing 6, scoring just 1 goal in the process. Though they've lost just 2 of their 19 Premier League games against Burnley, Man United are looking to secure the Premier League double over them for just a second time after 2020-21. Just 2 of Burnley's 14 Premier League goals against Man United have come in home games, 14%, their lowest share of any side to net 10 plus goals against another in the competition. Burnley picked up 7 points in their first 4 home Premier League games this season, winning 2, drawing 1 and losing 1, but have since won just 1 point in their last 6, drawing 1 and losing 5, a 0-0 draw with Everton on match day 18. And finally, Manchester United have lost just 2 of their last 36 Premier League matches against sides starting the day in the relegation zone, winning 23 and drawing 11. So in terms of some recent form for Burnley, they are coming away with losses to Brighton. They lost to Brighton away from home. They lost to Newcastle 3-1 at home. They drew to Everton at home, which was a decent point for them, but you know, their only point in a long time since their first 4 home games at the start of the season. They drew to Bournemouth away from home. They lost to Fulham. They lost to Newcastle again, and then they lost to Crystal Palace as well. So Burnley's last win in the Premier League was a 3-2 victory against Wolves on the 26th of October 2025. So in terms of Burnley's team news, Axel Tuanzebe is at AFCON with DR Congo, and they've got a couple of players out injured as well, who I'm not going to name right now. But in terms of Burnley's starting 11, this is how I think they're going to line up. So Dubravka in net, of course, Walker, Lauren, Ekdal, Humphries and Perez making up the back 5, Brun Larson, Ogochukwu, Florentino and Anthony making up the 4 in midfield, and then Brocha up front. So how do Burnley like to play? In terms of with possession, they like to, number 1, they use structured build-up from the back. Burnley build patiently through the centre-backs and the goalkeeper. The full-backs position high and wide to stretch the pitch, while midfielders drop to offer short options. Number 2, double pivot for control. Usually a 2-man midfield base provides balance. 1 holds to protect rest defence. The other can step higher to link play and progress the ball. Number 3, wide overloads and crossing zones. Wingers hold width initially, allowing fullbacks to overlap or underlap. Attacks often funnel wide before crosses or cutbacks into the box. Number 4, positional discipline over freedom. Players largely stay within their zones. Rotations are controlled rather than fluid, ensuring structure if possession is lost. Number 5, sustained pressure, not fast transitions. Burnley prioritize territorial dominance and recycling possession. Rather than forcing risky passes, they reset and rebuild attacks. So in terms of defending without possession, Scott Parker, he likes to set his team up in a compact middle block. He favours a 5-4-1 shape. Lines stay close together to block central progression. Number 2, pressing triggers, not constant pressing. Press initiates on poor touches, backwards passes or wide traps. The press is organised rather than aggressive for its own sake. Number 3, protect the centre first. Central lanes are prioritised defensively. Opponents are often shown wide where Burnley can press collectively. And number 4, quick defensive reset. Upon losing the ball, there's an immediate attempt to delay the opponent. If the counter press fails, the team drops quickly back into shape. Number 5, strong rest defense. At least 3 players remain behind the ball during attacks. This limits counter-attacking threats and maintains territorial control. So in terms of Burnley's star man, I'm going to say one who's not in the starting lineup that I put, that is Zian Fleming. So this season he has scored 5 goals in 15 matches, so he could be a threat off the bench, so we need to be careful of that. But in terms of Burnley's midfield, I think Oguchukwu is a decent player, so he could be kind of, if we need to win the midfield battle against Burnley's midfield if we are to be coming away with the win. So in terms of Manchester United's last match, it was against Leeds United in what ended up being Ruben Amorim's final game in charge of Manchester United. In terms of the match, United started slowly. Leeds had more intensity than us. Leeds started aggressively and disrupted United's rhythm, pressing high and winning second balls, which unsettled United early on. United had control but lacked cutting edge. United dominated possession for long spells and pushed Leeds back, but struggled with tempo, creativity and quality in the final third. And in number 3, it was a fair result reflecting performance levels. So Leeds' organisation and work rate balanced United's territorial control, making the draw a fair outcome with neither side fully convincing. So that ended up being Ruben Amorim's final game in charge of Manchester United. So I want to speak a little bit about Ruben Amorim as well, considering that I made a video on my reaction on his sacking yesterday, and my opinions on it have changed a little bit after I've contemplated and looked at some more stats and stuff. So in terms of some fact, and I've heard other fan opinion as well. So in terms of Ruben Amorim facts, he is statistically our worst ever manager. He finished 15th last season, which alone is probably a sackable offence. Lost the Europa League final to Spurs, which was a really bad performance in the final, giving Spurs their first trophy in 17 years. He lost to League 2 Grimsby Town. He lost to 10-man Everton at home, of course, and then drew to West Ham, Bournemouth and Wolves. Drawing to West Ham, Bournemouth and Wolves at Old Trafford, which were all poor results. Only kept 2 clean sheets all season, so defensively we have been poor. And in terms of his overall Premier League record, he's got an awful Premier League record as well. So all these things accumulated together, the stats show that Amorim wasn't good enough to be Manchester United manager. And when you deep it, it's actually crazy to think how Amorim was still in a job. And when you look at the stats, when you look at the performances after finishing 15th or whatever, any other manager would have been sacked in my opinion. And I think that in hindsight, Amorim deserved the sack for the results alone, never mind the breakdown in relationship with the board. And so hopefully, I think the board made the decision to sack Ruben Amorim because they thought that Champions League qualification is there for the taking, and that's why they're thinking that with a different manager we can definitely qualify for the Champions League, and that's why they decided to get rid of him. So hopefully sacking Amorim turns out to be the right decision and Manchester United qualify for the Champions League. Personally, I think I mentioned yesterday in my video, I don't think we were getting Champions League football with Amorim, and I don't think we're going to be getting Champions League football without Amorim either, because I think at this moment in time we've dropped far too many points. So I think that we're not going to be qualifying for Champions League. We're not going to be finishing inside the top 4. However, I could be proven wrong, but that's just my kind of gut instinct right now. I think we've dropped far too many points, especially to relegation fodder at teams at home, and we've got tough fixtures coming up against Arsenal and Man City in the league. So I don't think we're going to be getting any points from them games. So it's going to be tough to be getting into Champions League. Personally, like I mentioned, I don't think we're getting Champions League football with Amorim, and I don't think we're going to be getting Champions League football without Amorim. So maybe it would have just been it would have been maybe it would have been beneficial to a certain degree, just to see what he could have done up until the end of the season, and to see to see if Amorim could have salvaged something in terms of finishing inside the top 4. But yeah, that's my view on Amorim. In hindsight, probably if I'm weighing the pros and cons, I think there were certainly more pros in terms of there was certainly a better argument to have him sacked at this point than keep him personally, but it is what it is. He has now departed, and this is going to be Darren Fletcher's first game in charge of the Manchester United first team after he was appointed as under 18 coach earlier on. He is now Manchester United interim head coach, so hopefully he can get off to a winning start. I think interim managers at Manchester United have performed reasonably well when you look at the likes of when Oli came in, then Rude came in. I think they've done well. So I think Giggs was interim as well, so he done all right as well. But I think usually by and large when interim managers have come in, they've done all right. And Giggs, Oli, Rude. Hopefully Darren Fletcher can get off to a similar start. And I think that the club are now looking to appoint Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as a manager on an interim basis. So I personally hope that happens. I think it will be a good appointment, especially up until to steady the ship until the end of the season, and then possibly if Ole does well enough, then he can carry on and similarly like last time, I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer deserved to be sacked. He is the only manager post Alex Ferguson to have finished consecutively inside the top four. He finished third in his first full season, then he finished second in his second full season. So I think he was a little bit unfortunate to get sacked. He had a bad couple of results, bad couple of weeks as Man United manager in his third full season when he got sacked, and I don't think personally he should have been sacked in my opinion. He's Man United through and through, and the way he was treated in the last couple of days was bad in my opinion. But yeah, let's get back into the talking about Burnley. So in terms of Manchester United team news, Ahmad Mazraoui and Mbeumo are at AFCON, of course. Maguire and De Ligt are still out injured. Bruno Fernandes has a hamstring injury, and Kobe Minu has a calf injury, and Mason Mount is out with a muscle injury as well. But I think that Bruno Fernandes or Mason Mount could make the bench, but I doubt that personally. I don't want them to be risked in my opinion. But yeah, in terms of Man United starting 11, this is my Man United starting 11. So Lemens in net, of course, Dalot, Heaven, Martinez and Shaw making up the back four, Ugarte, Casemiro making up the two in midfield, Dogu, Xerxes and Cunha making up the front four. So in terms of Man United star man, I'm going to have to say for it's Casemiro. I think he needs to win the midfield battle alongside Ugarte. I think he is a defensive anchor and game reader. He provides protection in front of the back line, excelling at interceptions, duels and breaking opposition attacks. And then number two, leadership and big game mentality. He sets the team's intensity, organizes teammates and delivers composure and experience in high pressure moments. And that's I think Casemiro and Xerxes are gonna be key in terms of us beating Burnley tomorrow. Burnley, we should be beating them. They're not a great side. They're probably going to get relegated, but we have struggled to beat relegation fodder this season. Hopefully we don't struggle to beat Burnley tomorrow. But yeah, in terms of how do you beat Burnley, number one, increase tempo early, move the ball quickly in the first phase to disrupt Burnley's structured mid-block and prevent them settling into their shape. Number two, exploit wide areas and cutbacks, use fullbacks and wingers to overload the flanks, targeting low cutbacks rather than hopeful crosses against Burnley centre-backs. Number three, pin the double pivot. Position a number 10 between Burnley's midfield lines to occupy their double pivot and create central progression opportunities. Number four, strong counter press. Immediate pressure after losing possession will stop Burnley from building calmly and forced long balls where United can regain territory. Number 5, clinical finishing and set piece focus. Burnley defend deep and limit chances, so United must be ruthless with few opportunities and maximise set piece situations. And finally, number 6, I'm gonna have to say it again, I've been mentioning it for a number of videos now, clean sheet. We have struggled defensively all season. We've struggled defensively to keep the ball out of our own net, and we've struggled to keep clean sheets against relegation fodder. We should have kept clean sheets against Wolves, West Ham, Bournemouth. We conceded 4 at home, Leeds, Everton at home as well. So we've not been able to keep clean sheets all season. We've kept 2 clean sheets all season against Sunderland, and then against Newcastle as well. And then against Newcastle, we were lucky to keep the clean sheet. I think Newcastle deserved the point, but thankfully we came away with all 3 points that game. But yeah, in terms of in terms of the game tomorrow, I think that we have to be getting 3 points. We've dropped too many points from winning positions. We've dropped too many points we've got too many draws basically at this moment in time. So hopefully we can come away. We can come away with all 3 points. I think if we are, we think, even though personally I don't think we're going to be getting Champions League football, I think that we can't be. For us to still have a chance, we need to be picking up more wins, if we are to be qualifying for the Champions League. But yeah, let's take a quick look at the league table. Manchester United, they sit in 6th position. We are on 31 points right now. So with a win, we would move to 34 points. Liverpool play Arsenal on Thursday. I think that's the 8th. Is 8th Thursday? Yeah. So Liverpool play Arsenal on Thursday, so Liverpool could possibly drop points, or or Arsenal could drop points or whatever. So we possibly could move into 4th because if we have the same goal difference as Liverpool. If Liverpool were to lose and then we were to win, then we could move above Liverpool. We would move above Liverpool, but Chelsea are to play Fulham as well. So Chelsea haven't been able to kind of take top 4 by the scruff of the neck either. If you look at Chelsea's results, they drew to Newcastle, they lost to Villa, they drew to Bournemouth, and they drew to City as well. So they've not been able to kind of grab top 4 by the scruff of the neck, and it seems as if no one really wants to take top 4. I think it's definitely there for the taking, and I think that if we can keep up the pace come the end of the season, we're still in touching distance of the top 4. Anything could happen, if we're there or thereabouts. If we're in 5th, 6th with a couple points difference nearing the end of the season, then we could make top 4. But personally, like I mentioned previously, I don't think we are going to get top 4. I think that under Amorim we weren't going to get top 4, and without Amorim I don't think we're going to be getting top 4 either, because we've dropped far too many points so far this season, especially easy points at home, and now we have a really tough run of fixtures coming up against the likes of, we are going to play, I think we were playing, obviously after the FA Cup tie, we're playing against Arsenal and Manchester City. So it's going to be a tough run of fixtures coming up. Let me just see what our fixtures are. So of course we play Burnley, then we play Brighton in the FA Cup on the weekend, and then next week we play Manchester City, and then after that we play Arsenal as well. So we've got really tough games coming up, and personally, like I mentioned, we've dropped far too many silly points against relegation teams, which is why I don't think we're going to be getting top 4. But anything is possible until the end of the season, and I could be proven wrong. In terms of my score prediction for tomorrow, I am going for a 2-0 Man United win. Hopefully we come away with the win. Hopefully we come away with all 3 points. Hopefully we come away with a clean sheet as well. I think it's really important to be keeping clean sheets if we are to be getting top 4 as well, because we're leaking too many goals right now against relegation fodder, and we can't be conceding silly goals against the likes of Wolves, West Ham, Bournemouth. These goals are being conceded against the likes of these teams. So hopefully we can come away with the win. I'm going for a 2-0 Manchester United win. Sesko and Casemiro to score the goals. And hopefully we come away with the win. Hopefully we come away with all 3 points and a clean sheet. Anyway, if you enjoyed this preview, leave a like, comment. Oh yeah, and hopefully Darren Fletcher can come away with his first win as interim manager. Interim managers for Man United have done reasonably well when they've been appointed. So hopefully Darren Fletcher can come away with a win for his first game in charge as Manchester United manager. Hopefully he does well. And then of course Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There is talk on the block that that the board have sounded out Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as an interim up until the end of the season, and I'm all for that. I'm Ole in. I don't think he should have got sacked. But yeah, hopefully Ole comes in and he steadies the ship, and hopefully Darren Fletcher can come away with a win tomorrow. Like I said, going for a 2-0 United win. Sesko and Casemiro to score both the goals. But yeah, hopefully Man United come away with all 3 points and a clean sheet as well. Anyway, if you enjoyed this preview, leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you after the match.